The Bible is like a letter from God, our loving Father. In this letter, he doesn't just tell us about the past and present. He gives us glimpses into the future. These glimpses are called prophecies, and they're like puzzle pieces revealing God's plan for humanity. Some prophecies are mysterious and symbolic, but with careful study and prayer, we can understand their meaning. One of the most important things God reveals in prophecy is the end of the world as we know it. This might sound scary, but it's actually a message of hope. God tells us what's coming so we can be prepared. He wants us to turn to him, to trust in his Son, Jesus Christ, and to live lives of faith and obedience. In these last days, as we see the signs of the end times unfolding around us, we can take comfort in knowing that God is in control. He has a plan, and he will ultimately triumph over evil. Jesus himself warned us about the signs that would precede his return. He said to watch for wars and rumors of wars, for nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. We're living in a time of unprecedented global conflict and unrest. From the Middle East to Eastern Europe, wars and rumors of wars dominate the headlines, fulfilling Jesus' words with chilling accuracy. Jesus also warned of natural disasters, famines, and earthquakes in various places. Today we see these disasters increasing in frequency and intensity, from devastating earthquakes to catastrophic hurricanes and wildfires. But perhaps the most pervasive sign of the end times is the rise of deception. Jesus warned that false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. One of the most intriguing and unsettling figures in biblical prophecy is the Antichrist, also known as the Beast. The Apostle John in the book of Revelation describes him as a beast with 10 horns and 7 heads, who will rise to power through deception and violence. This beast will be a charismatic and powerful leader, who will unite the world under his rule. He will demand worship and allegiance, and he will persecute those who refuse to bow down to him. The Bible tells us that the Antichrist will have a mysterious mark, the mark of the beast, which he will force people to receive in their right hand or on their foreheads. This mark will be a sign of allegiance to the beast and his system of control. Many scholars believe this mark could be a form of economic control, perhaps a microchip implant or a digital currency that restricts buying and selling for those who refuse to comply. Section 4, Tribulation and Triumph, a time of darkness and deliverance. The Bible speaks of a time of great tribulation, a period of unprecedented suffering and persecution which will precede the return of Jesus Christ. The prophet Daniel describes it as a time of distress, such as has not happened from the beginning of nations until then. This time of tribulation will culminate in an event known as the Abomination of Desolation, prophesied by Daniel and Jesus. This event will involve the desecration of the Jewish temple in Jerusalem, signaling the beginning of the most intense period of tribulation. But even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope. The Bible tells us that God will not abandon his people. He will protect and preserve a remnant of believers who will remain faithful to him through the tribulation. And then at the appointed time, Jesus Christ will return in glory and power to rescue his people and defeat the forces of evil at the Battle of Armageddon. Satan will be bound and cast into the abyss, and Jesus will establish his kingdom on earth, ushering in 1,000 years of peace and righteousness. Section 5, a new heaven and a new earth eternity with God. The Bible doesn't end with the millennium. It goes on to describe a glorious future beyond the 1,000 years of Christ's reign on earth. The Apostle John, in the book of Revelation, gives us a breathtaking vision of a new heaven and a new earth. He describes a city coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. This new Jerusalem will be a place of unimaginable beauty and splendor, where God's presence will dwell forever. In this new creation there will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. God will wipe away every tear from our eyes, and we will live in perfect peace and harmony with him and with one another. This is the ultimate hope of every believer, to spend eternity in the presence of our loving God in a place where sin and suffering are no more. This is the promise of the new heaven and the new earth, and it is a promise we can cling to with unshakable faith.